here are 5 SBL study hacks to give you the best possible chance of passing your exam.
Planning. Planning your answer is absolutely critical for passing SBL. Now, planning is important in all aspects of life, right? It's helpful. But to give you a kind of bit of a real world example, I have to drive my son about 20 minutes to get to his nursery. And that 20-minute drive, I've got 3 different routes I can take. Which route do I take? Do I go the more direct route that could have more traffic? Or do I go the windy route round the houses or through the countryside? How do I decide? I do some planning first. I look on Google Maps before I leave the house or as I'm leaving the house, and I see which one has the least traffic and is the quickest journey. And then I take that route and I'm most likely to get to my destination, to nursery, feeling slightly less stressed and being there a bit quicker. Planning saves me time overall. And it is exactly the same in the SBL exam. You plan your answer first of all, and that means that you write your answer is focused on actually answering the question, and you end up writing a much briefer, a much more succinct answer because you've already mapped out what's going to go into it. So planning helps you to write more briefly, and it helps you to make sure you include the right sort of content in your answer. It will genuinely help you to pass. You must plan in SBL.
The next tip is about question practice. Question practice is crucial in SBL. Now, when I say question practice, what I don't mean is people looking through the question, writing down a few bullet points and then going, oh yeah, that'll do. I definitely would pass that question. That'll be fine. When we say question practice, it's in full, so writing out as you would in the exam, and it's against the clock. So it's with a timer, so you get used to that time pressure and you get used to knowing what you need to do in that time. What is a really underrated skill is turning an idea, a concept, maybe from a plan that you've done that looks lovely, you've got a few ideas down, turning those into full paragraphs that are related to the scenario, that are concise and well-structured is a really underrated skill. People think,
massively,
I'll just expand that on exam day, but it doesn't work like that. You need to practice that, otherwise it's not going to work.
So many students practice questions in SBL by having a look at the question and the requirement, and then reading the scenario, and then just reading the examiner's answer and going, I would have put that, I would have put that, I would have put that. Doesn't help.
Not at all. So full question practice to time.
Massively. Okay, another tip for you, study hack, is about your writing style. Keeping it super direct and super brief. Now, a really useful tip for you, and this is what I do when I am writing, what I have in my mind as a thought, is I'm trying to be rude. I'm trying to be direct. I think of the rudest, actually that's the wrong word, I think of the most direct person that I know. And that person, it's not you, Andrew, it is someone I used to work with, a lady called Valentina. She's Ukrainian. And as many Ukrainian people that I know are, she's very, very blunt. She says it as it is. So she would say, if she looked at me today, Andrew, you might say to me, actually, Andrew, describe me today. How do I look?
I think you're looking quite smart. You've obviously put a bit of effort in with your hair. Your background's looking good. Beard could maybe be a little bit more shaped if you wanted a more professional look. But I feel like overall, you're looking good.
Yeah. And so what Andrew has delivered me there is the feedback sandwich, which is he started off with something good. I put a bit of effort in. The bad news is your beard's a bit messy. But overall, your background looks good. And so good, bad, good. That's what many people do in the exam. They flowery, waffly. What Valentina would do is say, shave your beard off. And she would just say it like that. She would say it as it is. You could say that's rude, or you could say it's direct. But that's the style you want. Get rid of all of the fluff, right? Go straight in with the good stuff. So that's the tip. Be direct and rude in the way that you write.
So my next tip is about marking. Now, in SBL, it's really difficult to know how you're getting on, isn't it? Because a lot of the time, anything goes. If you make a sensible point that's applied to the question, you've related it to the company, it will earn you credit. It'll earn you marks.
Yeah, and the mark scheme even says that.
It does. It's so open.
Any relevant point will score. Other relevant points would score. You know?
Yeah.
How's the student supposed to know what that means?
Yeah. If you're doing a numbers exam, you can look at the numbers and you can see, I got that number wrong. I got that number right. But you can't do that in SBL. So the next hack is around getting it marked. Now, ideally, it'd be amazing if you can get it marked by an expert tutor. So if you can get feedback that's going to be really insightful, that'd be amazing. But I know not everyone can. So a really nice tip is to try and find a study buddy, someone you can work with. And sometimes you just need someone with a fresh pair of eyes to look over something and just say, look, that seems a valid point. Maybe you could have done that differently. And with SBL, that might even be someone, ideally someone doing SBL, but it could be someone who's qualified, who's done it in the past, could be a friend or a colleague who's willing to read through your work just to give you that independent overview. And sometimes it's just about writing style. Maybe it is you were too wordy with that bit, or I didn't quite understand what you meant by that point. But just having someone independently looking over it is really, really valuable in SBL.
And if you can get that person, if that person is also studying SBL, you can do a little bit of I scratch your back, you scratch my back.
Exactly.
And actually, by reviewing their work, you will see things that they do that you go, I'll do that as well. That's actually quite helpful and useful.
Or I won't do that.
Exactly. I won't grow my beard as long as Ben's because it does look ridiculous. But yeah, you'll pick up good and bad things out of, you will benefit by doing the reviewing. There's value for you in doing the reviewing, as well as having a fresh pair of eyes look at your work and give you a robust critical evaluation of it.
Massively.
Next one is about making notes. And I love making notes. I just do it constantly. If I'm not writing it down, you do the same. This is a habit of effective people, is making notes. I also love merch.
Look at that. Where'd you get this from?
So this, I mean, and look at it. It even has like a little magnet.
That is elite.
Yeah.
That is lovely.
And
work.
the weft of the paper. Oh, it's wonderful. Anyway, get yourself a nice notebook. And what you should be doing, ideally, is after every question that you practice in SBL, you are making notes on things you could have done better next time. These are my key learnings. So it's not every single thing you missed out of the answer. It's how could I have approached this differently? What fundamentally did I do wrong here? What went wrong? What went right? Or what have you? But I'd want to have like 3 or 4 key learnings out of that question. And I'm writing them in a way that will make sense to me at a later date. So writing them down helps me to organize my thoughts a bit, and I'm more likely to not make those mistakes again. But also having it somewhere I can refer back to it means it's great as something to read the night before the exam. These are all the things. This is my journey. This is how I've got to being the SBL expert that I am now. But I'm reminding myself of all of my lessons and my learning so that I really deliver on the day. So make notes and refer back to them.
Right.
Awesome. That's our study hacks. Sorry, I just spoke over you there. So that's our study hacks for SBL. Hope you found those useful. We're going to be sharing loads and loads more content on our channel. So if you subscribe, you'll get to see me talking over Andrew lots and lots more in many of our other recordings. Hope you found it useful.
Take care.